The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Welcome to the program. How are you? My name is Ron Van Dam. What's your name? I can't hear you. Never mind. This is the Ron Van Dam Show. I come into the studio once a week in order to do what I do every weekday on the radio. I do it in here. I'm limited here because I usually interview guests toward the end of my radio program, and I play different kinds of things and, to accentuate whatever conversation I'm having. But here I just talk. It's like a TED Talk. Let's call it a Ron Talk. Nothing's going to happen. No marching bands. No one's going to play any instruments. No one from the school committee is going to stand up and say, I can't take this anymore. No, nothing like that. There's nothing. I don't have anybody sitting to my left. I don't pan to the left. That's it. I don't have anybody sitting to my right. There you. Okay. It's just me talking. So what's the point of this, basically? To be honest with you, I thought about that on my way into the studio today, and I said, what is the point of that? And the answer is, there isn't any. Does that mean you don't do it? Yes, usually. But for some reason, here I am. I've been doing it in this studio for, wow, I'd say like 6 years here or something like that. Oh my God. What's wrong with me? Maybe longer. Oh my God. I've been doing radio for 30 years, actually going on 32 years of radio. Oh my God. And then I started doing the podcasting in conjunction with the radio. Oh my God. That's a lot. That's just a lot. But then I figured, what else do I have to do? Well, there are other things, but we don't talk about those things. So how are you? Good to be with you. I enjoy our time together. That's a lie. This is not enjoyable. I don't know what this is, to be honest. I'm not sure. Did you ever do something and then you stopped and you said, well, why am I doing it? And then you said to yourself, because that's what I do. That's just what I do. Did you ever walk into a room and stop short in the room and say, why did I come in here? What am I doing here? Why did I want to come in here? Now, when you're young and you're in your early 20s, let's say, that's just funny. You say, oh, I forgot why I came in here. What am I doing here? Then you just laugh it off. I must be crazy. When you get over 50 years old, into your 60s and 70s, when that happens, it takes on a whole different kind of thing. So, oh, why did I come in here? Oh, no, it's starting to happen. That's what we do. Because our brains are like they are so incredibly important, and we know so many people that have lost their minds. When you get older, there are various horrible diseases, which we all know about. When you're younger and you lose your mind, it's just because you're stupid. All right. I don't know what town you live in. I have an idea, but I don't know what town you live in, let's say. And I don't know what the rules are of this particular town in which I do this particular studio cable thing. But I'll tell you something. I've become an advocate for banning cell phones. Oh my God. Did you just say what I thought you said? I'm talking to myself. Did you just say what I thought you said? Ban cell phones? That's not a popular opinion, Ron. Well, I know that. But my goodness, it's the right opinion, I feel in my heart. And I'll tell you why. Because cell phones are no good. They perform certain functions for adults that have responsibilities and have responsibilities toward other people and other things. When you are a child in school, let's say grade school, can we all say grade school together? Grade school. Middle school, high school, that kind of thing. I cannot think of a reason that you kids should have a cell phone in school. I can't think of one. Does a teacher stand in front of the classroom every once in a while and says, I ran out of stuff to teach you today. Get on your cell phones and go tweet your friends and go on Facebook and do your thing or your Snapchatting or whatever. They don't do that because, no, it's not part of the lesson plan. You don't ask a question. Teacher, how do you indeed multiply the square root of 17? Why don't you Google it? What are you asking me for? They don't do that. I got to tell you something. You can see me because this is television. I'm a little bit older than 25. Not much. All right. 35. All right. 45. But not much older than, all right, 50. But not much. All right, let's just stop this stupid game. And when I went to school, and I did, we didn't have cell phones. Not in those grades that I mentioned. Didn't have cell phones. Think they were around toward the end of it, but nobody had them. They were bag phones. Remember the bag phones in your car? If you're old enough to remember this, they're called bag phones, I think, and they were little beanbag things, and the phone was attached to it, and you put it on the center console of your car, and you could answer the phone. Hey, Bob, I'm actually in the car talking to you. And it was like a thing, I remember that. That's when it started. That's when the trouble started. Making things too convenient for us. We're always looking for making it an easier life. That's our goal with all these products. Make life easier. No, you're making it worse is what you're doing. And that's what cell phones do. There's benefits to them, but the bad part of it is starting to over-exceed the good part. And that goes with social media, too. I don't even want to get into that right now. I'm talking about cell phones. I do not understand. I don't know whether the school system in the town in which you live or the city in which you live has a cell phone policy. I don't know. I just don't know. And you know what? I don't care to know. I can always Google it on my cell phone. I don't care to know. It's not the point. Whether they have it or they don't, cell phones should not be in schools. College, sure. What am I going to do? How am I going to stop you from doing anything in college? But high school, middle school, there's no reason for it. You don't use it during the classroom itself. When you get out in the hall and you go to your next class, if that's the way your school is set up, why would you have to make a quick phone call? Why? I went to school for 12 years, plus kindergarten and nursery school, and I did not have an occasion to have to call my mother at any given moment that I couldn't wait until I got home later on in the day. We didn't have cell phones. We existed fine. Look at the way I turned out. Okay, that's a bad example. Cell phones should be banned in schools. There's no reason for them. Just because they can be used everywhere doesn't mean that they should be. Schools should be a restrictive area. It's not a free country in schools. You can't just do whatever you want in a classroom. It doesn't work like that. That's where you learn boundaries and the fact that there are other people around you that have consequences as well. So there are rules and restrictions in schools. You shouldn't have cell phones. Now, if you say, hey, I need a cell phone because I'm not feeling well and I need to tell my mother to come pick me up from school, the school nurse will call your mother. On her cell phone, she has one. She doesn't go to school. But you don't need a cell phone. I don't belong to the school committee in any given town. I did at one point, but not now. And I would be happy to appear in front of a school committee meeting like they would have me there. Are you kidding me? And I will do my speech. I will say to them, if I didn't have one, why should they? It's a tool for many, many things. Love social media, hate social media. You do whatever you want on your own free time. That's your parents' business. But while you're in school, it's not. It's our business. And you don't have a cell phone. And you're not going to come to school with a cell phone unless you put it in your locker. But you're not going to walk into a classroom or walk down the halls with a cell phone. You're not going to do it. We don't allow it here. We'll make the signal so bad you won't be able to call your neighbor sitting at the next desk. That's what they should do. They should have some kind of blocking system where, okay, I have my cell phone. Hey, wait, hey, I'm not getting any reception here. Hey. Yeah, block them big time. Block them until they can't be blocked no more. Block the hell out of these people, these kids today. But that's not good enough, you see, because a kid can still go, oh, I don't need the internet to play my favorite video game. Bloop, 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 bloop. Excuse me, teacher, I'm busy. Bloop, bloop, bloop. I don't think games go bloop, bloop, bloop anymore. That's how archaic I am. I can't put down my Pac-Man. You know, it's different, I guess. No, cell phones physically should not be allowed in the schools on school property, period. And if you have to contact someone for an emergency, I didn't have to. Someone in the school contacted whoever I needed to contact, and they were perfectly happy to do it. The vice principal, the school nurse, whoever. Cell phones are, Ron, what if it's an emergency? We didn't always have don't you understand? These things didn't always exist. And there were still emergencies, and people got around the emergencies just fine. We've overdone it, don't you understand? We've overdone it. And we didn't put any restrictions on it. We didn't think this through. That's the problem with technology now. It's moving so quickly that we don't have time to think it through. We just want to market it and make money. And after that, it's all over. Someone's trying to call me right now. Don't they know I'm on the air? When I was on the air before, we didn't have cell phones. All right. I think I've made my point. I'm going to move on, if I may. You know, basically, just the bottom line here before I do move on. I thought I was going to move on, but I'm not. The bottom line is human beings are basically, by nature, self-destructive. Have you noticed that? Oh, we walk around and we say these witty little sayings that give us steam and give us hope and give us promise and motivate us. Like, you know, you wake up in the morning and you read a little saying, every day is a good day. Okay. Smiling is the best medicine. Okay. You know, we have these little sayings, so we really try a lot to make our lives better, but then we self-destruct ourselves in reality. The thought's always nice, but the reality never really is. We do that. We're like a football team where we don't practice very much and we lose every game, not because the other team's better than we are, it's that we suck so much we can't get it together. That's the problem. We have no teamwork. No teamwork at all. I don't know if you're into politics or watching Congress or anything or keep up with the news. We have no teamwork at all. We have teams, basically two teams, Republicans and Democrats, and all they're out to do is to destroy the other party and make sure the other party doesn't look good. So whatever is good for the country, screw that. I'm just interested in making the other side look as bad as possible. That's all I'm interested in doing. I'm not going to help them out, because if I help them out, if I help the American public out, it's going to help the other party out, so no one's going to get anything. That's the attitude. What, are you kidding me? We have no teamwork at all. We have a Congress, but they can't do anything. We have a president, but he can't do anything. Who can do anything? Nobody, and nobody does anything. There was a time, and I lived through it, because I am older than 20. There was a time when the Republicans and the Democrats used to be friends. They had different opinions, different viewpoints. They would discuss them and come up with a happy medium, with a compromise, some type of quote-unquote deal. I hate that phrase, but they call it a deal. You're not going to get everything you want. We're not going to get everything we want. But the American people are going to get something better than what they got as a result. And that's the way they did it. They would actually go out and have beers together. My God, beers. And believe me, after a drink or two, you do feel like getting it resolved. You really do. Unfortunately, that's alcoholism, and we can't run our country on that either. But it might be an option at this point. There was a time when these Congress people did actually work together. Oh, they were arguments, and they had verbal fights and debates and such. But when it's all said and done, they went with it and made the best of it and actually worked together. Not on everything, but on most things, they worked together. Because they remembered why they were there. We're there for the American people. We care about them. So we have to put our differences aside and come up with something that'll work for them. Nobody thinks about that anymore. It's just, how do I destroy the other side so they look bad and fail? That's all they care about. That's their mission. And they actually said it. My Republican friends actually said that. We can do stuff with the border. Yeah, we can do that. We've been trying to do that forever. But if we do it now, it'll look like Biden is a good president and he won that immigration. So we can't have him do that. We'll wait till our friend Trump gets in, and then then we'll have him do it, and then it'll look like he is the great president. Oh my God! But they actually said that about with the mouth. We can do good right now, or at least something right now, but then it's going to make the other side look good, so let's not. Oh my God, are you kidding me? It didn't always go like that. And I could get deeper into it, and I probably will someday, but I'm not talking about one side or the other side. I'm talking about the American people get no side of it whatsoever. Everything has nothing to do with you. It's not for you, it's for them. It's actually, if you look in the dictionary, all their pictures are under the category of pathetic. You look up pathetic in the dictionary, you'll see most of these Congress people. In any event, all right, I got to move on. I was driving through Stonehill College. Pretty place. I don't know where they got the money for that place. It's a pretty college. Do you know where Stonehill College is? It's in a little sleepy town called Easton, Massachusetts. Are you familiar with this town? It's crazy. Anyway. I think Easton, Massachusetts holds the records for the most Italian restaurants. I don't know why, and it doesn't seem to be a majority of Italian people living here. So I don't really know where this comes from. But anyway, Easton, Massachusetts, a nice little town, it's a nice little town. So anyway, driving through Stonehill College, you can't go faster than 20 miles an hour because you could hit somebody. Yeah, I mean, you go very, very slow through the Stonehill College, which I like. There's a sign there on the side of the road, and it says Turtle Crossing. And I'm thinking, why? Turtles can basically cross anywhere. How do the turtles know to cross there? like that's the safest spot because there's a sign warning the drivers about it. I don't know. In any event, it threw me back to my younger days, and I actually had a turtle. It wasn't a turtle that I found somewhere. It was a turtle that we went to a store, and in those days, pet stores had turtles. And I remember my mother taking me there. I had never had a pet before, but I wanted one, so they figured that, okay, get him a turtle. That'll shut him up for a while. And it did. So we go there, and I pick out the cutest turtle. I don't know how you tell how a turtle is cute, but I guess I thought this one was. And we bought the turtle. My mother did. I didn't buy it. I had no money. I was a young child. Got the turtle home, and we also purchased a little turtle area. I don't know what you call them. They're not tanks or anything. They're enclosed areas, but the turtles like it. And and everything's plastic. Everything's plastic in the turtle environment. And my little turtle would be walking around, and they actually, I had a plastic palm tree, and I thought, how exotic. I wonder if my turtle is smart enough to look at the little plastic palm tree in his area, assuming it's a him, I don't remember. I wonder if the turtle looked up and said, what are they trying to pull here? Do you think the turtle actually thought that? What are these humans trying to pull? Are they trying to make me think that's a palm tree? What a bunch of morons. I think the turtle had enough. I don't think turtles are incredibly smart, but probably smart enough to put down the human race for putting the plastic palm tree in the middle of their tank. And I don't know. It made it beautiful, though. Well, my turtle, whom I named Lucky, and when you name any animal Lucky, things are not going to turn out very well. It's just the way it goes. And my turtle passed away after 4 days. I don't know. We didn't have any doctor come over. I don't know the cause of death. Probably the cause of death was Ron, probably. Or I think it was the carcinogenic plastic palm tree. But the turtle died. Just one day, it just didn't move. And we realized this is not a sleeping time. This is not an alive turtle. And we did a burial at sea, flushed it down the toilet. Here's the odd part. I was so broken up over that my mother took me in the car. We went back to the pet store and got another turtle because we already had the turtle environment with the plastic palm tree. So we got another turtle, and we brought it home and put it in the plastic environment with the water in it and all that stuff. And guess what I named the second turtle? That's right, Lucky 2. The numeric, the number 2, Roman numeral 2. And Lucky 2 was not Lucky 2. Lucky 2 lasted about 7 days, long life, and then joined his brother at sea. And that was the end of my turtle situation. Somewhere in the garbage, in some disposal heap from decades ago, sits my plastic palm tree as a memorial of times gone by. Yeah, we humans, we're a little weird. We are a little bit weird. We are self-destructive. I mean, I don't want to get into it, but we have one planet, and one planet only. We can't figure out how to exist on Mars or anything. That's like way, way far away. But somehow the planet will survive, but the self-destructive humans will not. There'll be a planet, but there won't be humans on it anymore because the environment will not allow it. Or the humans got so stupid that they just annihilated each other because they didn't want to see the other one win. It's the same thing. The same thing. Anyway, do you remember Groundhog Day was last week? I don't know when you're watching this, by the way, that you could be watching this in the summer, and Groundhog Day was not last week. It was months ago. So this is generically the situation. But actually last week was Groundhog's Day. I don't know if it's Groundhog Day or Groundhog's Day. I'm not sure, and it doesn't matter. But the point is, I believe this Pennsylvania Pawtuxet Phil, they named it Phil. I don't know why. Maybe there was an actual Phil that came up with the stupid idea of a rodent forecasting the weather months away. I don't know. But this little gerbil on a string comes out of this hole and sees its shadow, doesn't see its shadow, I don't know, but predicts that it's going to be a short winter and an early spring. And let's see what happens, because the accuracy of the groundhog is not exactly impressive. As a matter of fact, you may say the opposite could happen. So it means nothing, it does nothing, but again, make the human beings look incredibly stupid, because they show up in front of this hole in the ground with a curtain in front of it with movie lights, and the masters of ceremonies of these Groundhog Days festivities actually dress in tuxedos and top hats. I have no idea what that has to do with spring or the winter or certainly a rodent. I'm not getting that at all, but it's the most formal occasion we can conjure up as human beings in this part of the world. It's embarrassing. They hire bands, they serve food. It's bigger than the Super Bowl. Not really, but perhaps it is to the groundhog. I watched a little bit of it on the YouTube thing, and I was embarrassed just to watch it. As a matter of fact, I looked around while I was looking at the screen to make sure nobody was seeing me do this, because it was embarrassing. We do a lot of stupid things. We really do. Oh my God. There's a list a mile long of the stupid things we do. The list is longer than the receipt from CVS. It's amazing. We do some stupid stuff, and we do it in the guise of tradition because we always did it before. Now we must always do it infinitum without stopping to think, does this make any sense anymore? But the romance of the human being never ends. We always have to use our hearts instead of our brains, and that's how a lot of us get into bad marriages. Not me, you. Yeah. Anyway. Well, I guess Groundhog Day is like a whole nother year away. That should be interesting. This is going to be a very interesting year. I think they should change up the groundhog thing. I don't think the groundhog should be forecasting the weather anymore. I think we should start using different animals. I think every year it should be a different animal. Don't you think so? Like an elephant? Like an elephant coming out of its... I don't know where elephants do. They don't live in holes. Where do they live? They just walk around, I think. Well, anyway, the elephant would raise its trunk and go, and oh, that means early spring. Something like that, you know. Or maybe a termite, you know. We release termites in a home, and if the home stands up, then it's going to be an early spring. If it collapses because the termites have eaten through all the wood, it's going to be a long winter. I really don't know. There's ways of doing this. You certainly don't ask the Farmer's Almanac. Oh my God. What is that about? Because I get confused, because there's a Farmer's Almanac and there's an old Farmer's Almanac. I know. I think there's an Old Testament and a New Testament. I don't know which to follow anymore. I'm not too sure. But I don't know. The Farmer's Almanac, did the farmers have enough time to sit down and write an almanac about, what is it? That was important to them, though, because the weather is very important to their crops, and that is their livelihood. So I kind of understand that. But that's all I understand. Otherwise, I have no idea what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of time for today. I'll be back with you again next week. Until then, I wish you peace.